Adam Jones. He wants to continue playing at least 4 or 5 years. I don't know. People says, "Oh, well, he's 33 years old." Okay, he hit 281 with a 313. Let me tell you something. Problem is about most baseball hitters, if they actually hit for contact, it's better than nothing. Problem is about hitters nowadays, it's terrible. Oh, I'm hitting for power. We all know you can hit for power. You got you have you have Bryce Harper, about 26 years old, hitting in the middle of his prime. Has a good eye. He's a great lefty for power. But his agent, Scott Boras, is going to give you the money. He's always going to get you the money that you want. But is he worth the $400 million that someone wants to spend on him? No. It's not even worth $300 million that Stanton got. But Stanton has a proven track record to do it. 280 hitter, still hits for home run with power, can still play outfield. But yet again, it's about health. Because when you compare Harper to Mike Trout, two different, it's just not even talk about. It's laughable. Because Mike Trout is still the best ball player in all of sports. He's still the best baseball player. Hits, fields, hits for power, has speed. He actually plays the game right. You know? Yet you have guys who thinks like the only other guy who could get closer to Trout, probably Lindor or Machado. Machado, you know, it's continues still hitting. He continues to hit for power. 30 home runs. He can hit 40 home runs. He actually hit a total of 40 home runs if you include the postseason home runs. Yet again, he hits for, can give you 30 plus home runs year after year. 300 average if you can. Or 290. I still take a 280 hitter to still bat my lineup. People who keep saying, "Oh well, 230 is a great hitter." No, he isn't. My God, if you have Mendoza still playing, we always talk about the Mendoza line, Mendoza line. Every time these hitters thinks they're great hitters because I hit for 40 home runs, but I only have a bat near 250. Not even 200. You bat near 200, and you still calling yourself a great hitter. You got a great hitter for a power, but that's all you are. It's like Chris Carter again, Adam Dunn. It's a one and done deal. I can't. You can't have that. You know. I mean, you look at the Red Sox. The Red Sox are having the same. They're having to continue. They're going to have the same team again this year, like they had. They're going into next year. So there's really not much upgrades unless they want to look for another closer. They want to add bullpen pieces. They could reunite with Andrew Miller. You know. Houston, they lost two of their starters, Keiko and Morton. My personal opinion, they may bring one of them back. And they still need a proven closer. Yeah, they got the guy from Toronto. What's his name? He got some legal issues there too. But you want guys who actually hits for power. I mean, I'm a Yankees fan. I love the Yankees. You know, they went with a manager thinking analytics is going to go the way it goes, but analytics can only go so much. You can't really do much with analytics too much. You know, pitcher says, "Oh well, we can't last more than 6 innings." You know, because that's a quality start. First, I thought it was 7 innings. I wish I see a starter who last 6, who could pitch the whole game. It still looked good. But now they say, "Oh, we're protecting his shoulder. We're protecting his arm." Come on, man. He's a pitcher. These guys keep hitting triple digits every time. Oh, I hit 5 innings, so that's all I gotta do. It's not great for anything. You know. Now you're looking at the Phillies. The Phillies got money. They still, I mean, you gotta remember, they had a payroll when they had Roy Halladay, Roy Oswalt, Cliff Lee, and Cole Hamels. That was a serious team when they still had Ryan Howard. Unfortunate for his Achilles heel to rupture during the playoffs. He was still a great hitter for a team. Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley. They had a good team. It just fell apart. That offensive threat wasn't there anymore. So now, if you look at their team now, it's a lot of young guys. But they still need a proven bat in there. You don't want to put... See, I like putting a little old school. I like to play... Let's play the hit and run. Let's put pressure on pitching and defense. You know, the Orioles are now going... Or a more analytic team now. GM has more power, an assistant GM. You know, they could do a lot of moves. You know. But the thing is with the Orioles, they still need a manager. They still haven't hired their own manager yet. Do they want to go with a young guy again? How all these teams are going for analytic junkie? Yeah, I mean, you can, but how you going to sell it to the pitcher? How you going to sell it to the defense? It's like, hey, I want you to move this way. He's a power hitter. He's going to pull. No, you know how you beat the analytics? You throw them off. If you have a left-hand hitter that pulls for days, as a manager, you should be able to change him to say, look at this hole that's on the left side. The third baseman's playing shortstop. There's only two other players that can actually field the ball if you hit it that way. That's the pitcher and that's the catcher. If you're left-handed, then the left-hand pitcher. If it does a left-handed pitcher, well, yeah, he's gonna say, I can field that ball more because it's going down to my pull down side. You know. Cincinnati, they still going with an offensive team, but they got no pitching. There's no pitching. And that's what everyone's looking for. It's pitching. People were trying to do what the Rays did. You know, start with a reliever and then bring a starter in for 4 or 5 innings. Could work. But you have to think of more. If you really want to do it smart, find a starter who's going to who's going to actually pitch through the orders. You know, you look at some of these bullpen guys. These bullpen guys didn't came up as bullpen pitchers. They were starters. Mariano Rivera, probably going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame, I hope. It's going to go down. He's the all-time saves leader and closer. Only have one pitch. Now his cutter moved left and right, but a cutter for him is only moving left. It's going away on those right-handers and in on those lefties. But, you see, the thing is, he was a failed starter. He can give you multiple innings if you need him to. But the thing is, what you need it from... If a pitcher think he can say, I'm a starter, I can still pitch. But hold on. If you can't pass the first inning from a guy, 5 innings, 4 innings, try to be a reliever. Relievers are making good money still. I mean, all these ball players are making good money, and they still say we getting paid less. The only ones who doesn't get paid much is the Class A affiliates, the AA affiliates. AAA affiliates make $75,000 a year. But still, that's a baseball schedule salary. We're not talking about we're not talking about all these other salaries. Um, is the Marlins going to move Remuto, their catcher? I mean, he came off a great year too. I think he doesn't want to sign the extension with the Marlins. He still don't. But if we're looking at prospect wise and who needs a catcher, you have Astros has a good farm system, but that's if they're gonna dig in and grab them. The Red Sox really don't need to, but they could as a luxury. The whole thing is it's a good defensive catcher, and he got a little speed for a catcher too, which is rare. It's coming on a better offensive season too. The Nationals always needs a new catcher, but they just signed Kirk Suzuki. Kirk Suzuki is not a bad catcher either. He's a good hitter. I mean, people are thinking, oh, the Padres is going to try and make some moves. Well, the Padres ain't moving anywhere. There's no offensive threat through that team. I mean, they got a lot of prospects in their system, but who's going to come out on top? Are you afraid to just expose the kid to the majors and see what he can do? I mean, you have to let him taste a little bit of Major League Baseball and see if he can handle it. You can hit 350, 400 in the minors, in the highest level in the minors, and you still can't produce. It happens. Because they say they got nothing else to prove. But if you can't prove in the majors, so you can't prove in the minors. They'll move on. There's a lot of pitchers who has that track record, being first round draft pick or whatever, that high ceiling. But you still have to perform. Now, hitters, everyone wants flexibility. And I always said it too. If I see a guy like Amaron Gonzalez has the most versatility, and he can hit, and he's a switch hitter, that's the most luxury you could get. Sign him. If I was the Yankees, I'll sign him instead of Machado. Machado will fit nicely, but where are you going to put him? Oh, you're going to put him at shortstop. And wait, just let Gregorius go? Gregorius is a good hitter. But the whole problem is everyone's going for that fly ball approach. Let's hit it with an uppercut swing and see what we can do, how far we can hit. It's nice and all, but it's not smart. You have to look at the defense. You got to play smarter in baseball. Speed always kills teams. Cause if a catcher can't throw out the runner, they can run them on days. It's a longer throw to second, but it's a shorter throw to third. But if you look at how the Orioles are set up, VR, they got this other young kid that got some speed. Now you can throw around and mix around with that. But a guy like Chris Davis, probably the worst signing ever because he's a very one-dimensional hitter just like everybody else. I understand you already proved what you did, but you have to think better than just being this one-dimensional hitter. You have to think more. Outsmart the other team. If they put a shift on you and there's a big old hole right there, aim for that hole. I bet you they're gonna start moving the third baseman and shortstop back over, which they usually play, and bam, the shift is over. That's how you beat the shift, and that's how you beat everything in baseball. You have to outsmart these teams. A pitcher, if he's a 3-pitch pitcher, he could be a starter. Because he has had to have good secondary pitches, 2 secondary pitches. Now it's just a fastball and a fastball. and there's no changeup or a curveball. A slider is just a hang. It's just a fastball. If it hangs, it's a nice pitch right down the pipe and hits it for a home run. A changeup can be flat, but it gets them off of it. And a curveball gives you more hook. It's not good for the elbow because it puts a lot of strain. But you want to... If you got 2 pitches that's good for you, you should be a reliever. If you have 3 pitches and you still can't be successful for a starter, I mean, I'll still put you out there, but you still can't do it. I'll put you in the bullpen. That's always I always think of. I mean, if you could prove you can do it, then prove it. You know? But don't think you just throw triple digits. Now you see how Adolis Chapman is now throwing his slider. A pitch he had. A changeup he also had. It gets him off his fastball. Because he was just here's my fastball at 106, 100 miles an hour. Here you go, try to hit it. But now he has a slider to give those lefties something more to think about. It gets him off that pitch. Now you don't even know what he's going to throw at you. If you have a closer that has 3 or more pitches, it gets you more to think about because you don't even know what to look for. A changeup, a slider, a curveball. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous pitcher that's out there for just to close out the game. If he has good command of it, shoot, you can put him in the bullpen. You can put him as a multi-reliever pitcher. But depends on his stamina. Because it's a joke that you can't say, oh, I can't play more than one position. I don't even know how to play first or second. You know, if you're a shortstop, you can play anywhere in the infield or in the outfield because you got you're the most athletic player on the field. Nathan Eovaldi came out of nowhere, signed that little sweet deal that he when the Yankees released him, because they don't tender him because he got that Tommy John. But again, it's Tommy John. Not many people who goes for the second time, you never know who's gonna go blow out again for the third time. I still think he could still start because he had that cutter into his repertoire. But again, it's finding. I think if he's a bullpen guy, it's a luxury. A long reliever that can also spot start for you. I don't see him get more than 3 years. I mean, for his age, he could get more than 3, but 3 years, that's all he's gonna get. Josh Donaldson's still out there. I still forgot this guy's still out there. You know, Donaldson just is still injury prone. He's on the wrong side of 30, and I don't see him trying to see, oh, I'm worth $30 million a year. Yeah, after your MVP, you never sign these guys after they win that trophy. Oh, I deserve to be paid. So, you haven't proven. You've proven you got a good glove when you're healthy, and you can hit for power. But you still have to prove it. You still have to prove it. Zach Britton. Maybe go to the Astros. I'm thinking so because they've been trying to get Zach Britton for a while, for the last 2 years. It only makes sense they can actually go for him. David Robertson, he's the Yankee. He's not going to go nowhere else. See, my thing is when I keep hearing the Rookie of the Year. I mean, Otani was a two-way guy. He could pitch and he could hit. He was a good starter, but he blew out his elbow. But when he hit, he was a dangerous left-hand hitter. But he's not technically a rookie still. He's not a rookie. I mean, technically, if you're gonna consider every guy who comes from these other leagues that they're professionals and they've been playing for baseball in another professional league, yeah. But in the minors, you haven't gone through the minors. You haven't faced real competition. You never faced the major league teams. You know, Ichiro wasn't a rookie. He had experience. Masui was not a rookie because he had experience in the Japanese leagues. They had like 8 to 10 years in there, and they put another 10 years over here. So give me a break. I mean, the Angels right now, they don't have pitching. Every time they have a starter, most of their starters been on the shelf. They were playing plug in here, plug in here. You saw the AAA team coming up. Their AA team was coming up. They didn't know who you were getting. They don't have the pitching. They don't have like C.J. Wilson when he was good, John Lackey when he was good, and then they filled it in with other guys behind them. That's gone. Lackey's pitching somewhere else. That he's doing good. But Otani is a 2A pitcher. Now, I understand the argument. I think Andujar could have won it because he had 27 home runs. It's 297. I understand the offensive stat, but he was not a great defensive player. That was always Andujar's issue. Andujar did not have. He did not have the defense to back it up. If he had the defense, if he shows he could prove he's a good defensive third baseman, he can stay at third base. But if he can't, most failed third basemen place first or the DH. That's always how they are, especially they got a bat. Adrian Beltre. I mean, he didn't get a ring. He still hasn't gotten a ring, but he was a good hitter, and he hit better when he was continued through his late 30s. He can glove, he can hit, but All-Star games are not really based on who's the best. Who is the best? Now, if we say Mike Trout, okay, he deserves it. But again, fans don't vote. Remember when Kansas City won the World Series? There were so many fan votes. Omar Avante was voted for starting second baseman. He had the worst season ever. It's halfway. And he didn't even play that well. That wasn't even right. He shouldn't even have it. Really, it should be up to the manager in the league to decide who should be starting out. You want that extra guy? Then you could do that little voting. But don't fill out they already control the pitchers who they want for pitchers. But don't fill out the major league roster. It doesn't make sense. Some players don't deserve it. I can't believe that the Yankees were actually will try to acquire one in the pitchers. Corey Cooper is like, he's good in the regular season, but it's still hard to show can he do in the postseason. 3 days rest does not mean nothing. It does not explain nothing. It doesn't mean anything. This ain't a house old school pitchers that can still do it. The starters nowadays, they see you once. That's all they have to know. But you know, they could have gotten... excuse me. Corey Cooper makes sense if he's a Cy Young, but you have so many outfield. The Yankees have so many outfielders from the depth chart. They have to start getting rid of some of these guys. That's why they always have this roster crunch. Either they trade from the major league roster or they trade from the minor league talent. They got right-hand pitching prospects from the wazoo. They had the most in the majors in their farm system. About 2/3 of their top 30 was all pitchers. And they were mostly right-hand pitchers. They could already deal one of them and another one who you didn't know of. And another guy who they got from the Carlos Beltran trade years ago. I mean, if anything, I would go for Cooper. And Carrasco's also good too. But you see, I'll get Cooper more because he has the resume. He already has 2 Cy Youngs. Trevor Bauer, young, still good. You know, he was in those first round picks, but I still won't try it. You know. Excuse me. I started yawning. But right now, it's all about who do you want. I mean, the Yankees were pushing a trade for Paul Goldschmidt. He has 1 year left, but he's a first baseman. He's actually a proven first baseman, but he's 32. He's 31 years old. Is he gonna get paid? He is gonna get paid. But the new high now. Remember when the high was $20 million a year? Then it was $25 million. Then it was trying to get close to where A-Rod was sitting at, 27.5. Then when you start seeing the first $30 million guy, it was ridiculous. It wasn't even worth the money. I mean, there's so much money in baseball, it's like, it's not much you can do. But am I giving some guy most of my payroll, which the Diamondbacks are in the problem right now with Greinke? But if you want Greinke, you should take a bad contract too in exchange. Like, the Yankees should trade Ellsbury. They have to trade Ellsbury. But my whole problem was with Ellsbury it wasn't his health issues that was the problem. It was how they used him. They put him as a number 3, number 2, number 1. They didn't know when Girardi was managing the lineup, he didn't know what the hell he was doing. When Jeter was still playing, you could have put Ellsbury and Gardner as the 1-2 punch, and you put Jeter as a number 3 because Jeter's a clutch. Because your number 3 hitter is supposed to be your clutch hitter. He'll come through. Even the number 4 hitter. 3, 4, 5 is more of a clutch hitter. They can hit in those situations. But a power hitter should be from your 6 through 9 because there's nothing else you can do with these guys. I mean, it would be nice. And then I look at the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays has a lot of young kids. Look, you see Thor. Thor was part of that R.A. Dickey trade. You know? And he actually proven. He's a proven starter. But he came through the Blue Jay system. You have a lot of kids. You got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's gonna be a great third baseman, hoping if he lives it up. They have Craig Biggio's son in the outfield. Kevin Pillar has always been good. Has always been a good defensive outfielder. Don't get me wrong, he's been a great defensive outfielder. It's just the bat still hasn't came up. The bat, it's still not there. He's better in the lower lineup, but he's not a leadoff hitter. American League East is a hard place to pitch and hit. But as a hitter, if you're a power hitter, oh yeah, you'll love the Green Monster if you're a pull hitter. Or Yankee Stadium or Camden Yards. Tampa Bay is not really a hitter-friendly ballpark because there's no... You don't feel the air. You don't feel the sun. You don't get any of it. It's inside of a building, a dome. It's nothing. And there's certain rules when it hits the scaffolding and the roof. Now, if the ball hits up so high, you don't even know where it's going. If you're a fly ball pitcher, you should be in the American League Central. Or the American League West. Because the home runs is a little down because you're not playing in big... You're playing in big ballparks. I mean, and they're spacious. It's the same like the National League West. It's the exact same situation. The American League Central, the National League Central is more hitter friendly, same as American League, National League East. But yet, Miami is not a hitter ballpark. It's a very pitcher friendly, spacious. Citizens Bank Park is one of those top of the line hitters ballpark. Nationals is a good ballpark, but people is making more design, but they're not making it great for. It's more for pitchers, not meant for hitters. If you're a great hitter, few divisions you want to go to. American League East, the American League West. If you're going to the Rangers or Houston, the National League East, and the National League Central. American League Central is not hitters friendly. Twins ballpark, Target Field is humongous. Comerica Park is humongous. These are ballparks that are not meant for a hitter. If he has speed, he can know what he can do. But here we go again. It's about who can play where. I mean, nowadays you're hearing, oh, we have interest of a pitcher who has one great year. Again, it's one great year. Can he repeat the performance? Does he have the proven track record to continue it? No. Like Robertson's, if the Yankees were smart, that brings Robertson, but Britton doesn't have the defense. He needs a good young defense that's going to field the ball for him. Because I know how the playoffs went for the Yankees. They did not have an infield that was great. When you had Cano at second, he was a great defensive second baseman. When you had Teixeira at first, great defensive first baseman, but also a great offensive bat. Jeter was still your Jeter. A-Rod was still playing good. But you have guys who knows how to play the defense. But you have a shortstop's arm at second base again with Torres. You have a shortstop's arm on shorts with Gregorius. But they're not great. Just because you're a bat doesn't mean you have the defense. You have to have defense to defend. I mean, they just showed the numbers to Andujar. Yeah, it's his first year. But if you hit a ground ball to him, you're hitting over 350. That's ridiculous. The average was to a third baseman was like 250. There was a huge difference if you hit a ground ball. Remember Johnny Damon when he was playing the outfield? You hit a ball to outfield where Johnny Damon played. What happened? He didn't have the arm. He doesn't even have the arm. He has the speed to cover it, but he didn't have the arm to defend. It was a liability out there, and that's what's happening. Are you willing to put a liability out there in the field just because you could score as many runs as possible? Just because you got pitching doesn't mean the pitching's going to back up to that offense. Like Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray's a great away pitcher. He shows the ace potential, but you can't pitch in American League East, especially Yankee Stadium. His numbers are off the roof. It's like AJ Burnett. Remember AJ Burnett? He can prove he was good, but it's not like how he was during his times with Toronto when he had Roy Halladay. But then he went to Pittsburgh and then he showed he could be a good potential ace. But now he's done. His career's over. But I mean, you have to find guys who can play defense as well as good as with offense. I mean, you can put an all offensive lineup. Yeah, you could generate so many runs you want. But how many of these guys are going to defend? I mean, the Red Sox one was speed and defense and hitting. The three things you need. Because speed disrupts the defense, especially the catch and the pitcher. And a defense that you couldn't hit a ball into the outfield. Between Mookie Betts, Jackie Bradley Jr. and Benintendi. That was a great young off defense right there. You know, it's speed. You have your best arm in Bradley. He also has speed. Then Mookie Betts is more of a corner because he has the arm for it. But he has enough speed to cover so much ground. Martinez is just a bat. He's not a great outfielder. He's not. First base and DH, that's all you're going to see. And their defense, Xander Bogaerts. Pedroia, if he could ever stay healthy, that was going to happen. They got Nunez. Nunez is a liability too. He could play multiple positions. That's a luxury. But he's not that great defensive. That's something that they also got to look at. First base, Mitch Moreland. Great first base glove. Because you want your first baseman to actually catch. That kid scooping and it drops the ball. Third base, I mean, they can get serious if they want to go for Machado, you know, or Harper. But I don't see them getting Harper or Machado. They could get Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin Gonzalez is going to be a name that some people is not going to recognize because he can play multiple positions and he can hit. And that's a good luxury you want. And he's not that bad of a hitter. It's like Ben Zobrist. He came up as a shortstop. He could play outfield, he could play second, he could play short, he could play first. Wherever you need him. And that's how some of these players need to know. If I put you out there and you don't want to play third base, why are you sitting on my bench and I gotta play you? Machado should be able to play third base if I put him out there. I know you're a shortstop by trade. I know you want to play. But you're playing for what I tell you to do. If you don't understand that and you want to put that little attitude, that's why people don't want to give him that much money. See with Harper. They're young, but they have that attitude of being so cocky they don't want to do it. Remember what the Yankees did when they signed Alex Rodriguez to that monster contract? They moved him to third because of Derek Jeter is short. Even though Alex Rodriguez was a better defensive shortstop. But now it's all about money. Who's gonna pay it? I think Philly's gonna get involved. I think the Dodgers may get involved. I mean, they only have Justin Turner for one more year, and that's it. And they get Corey Seager back. You know, and he went down with Tommy John. But he's an offensive bat, too. I mean, it could be a potential shooter for Bryce Harper, too. Jock Peterson is good, but not great. Yasiel Puig has these. He has that attitude problem too, that he can't play that well. He plays well. He has a good arm for a corner, but not a center. The whole thing about a center fielder is he has to have great speed and he has to have a great arm. You gotta throw on the run. It's not like in a corner outfielder that it's a line shot, whatever you're gonna look at. In center field, it's a longer throw. While in the corners, it's shorter. But it's gonna be a very interesting off season this year. I would love to see what's going on. I mean, I think Yankees did good for getting Paxton, but get rid of their number one prospect for him. I wouldn't have did it. They could have done better, but I mean, they get a lefty. It's doing great for the last 2 years, and you got it controllable for the next 2. I still think they need more pitching and consider that focus. And I always said it, they should go for Keuchel because Keuchel actually keeps the ball down. But yet again, it's about the defense. You gotta sell that defense to him. The Houston Astros had a great defense. Marwin Gonzalez, Gurriel, Altuve, Correa, Berkman. That's what you want if you have a ground ball pitcher. Ground ball pitchers like Porcello thrives with a great infield defense. It's not about the outfield. An outfielder also has to do it, run his route, and then he reads the ball right. And he has to have an arm. And the infield's much different because you gotta have the quick reflexes and you gotta be accurate. If you're not gonna be accurate, it's a liability. Because there's the bat only type hitters do not get paid well. But I'll continue doing this every so often. This is just one episode for the hot season, for the hot stove season. Let's see how everything else goes.